This is the Bitcoin 1 month overview reading for the month of February 2025. It's currently February 1st, 2025, 11:04 p.m. Eastern Time. Bitcoin at the time of this reading, $99,106.85. That's USD. And the shuffle video for the February Bitcoin reading was created on January 11, 2025 at 7:29 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're new to the channel, what we go over in these videos is the overall chart behavior and trend direction for the month of February. We give you chart behavior surrounding the highest high and the lowest low for the month. And we'll give you one of the best trades that we see for the month after we review January to see what our accuracy was like. We'll come back. We'll give you one of the best trades. And in the total or in the monthly access subscription version of this video, we identify the timing of the highest high and the lowest low to the day. Not always right, but usually. And we'll give you the remaining trades that we expect to make. But really, the most important part of that is the Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view charts services that you get as part of the subscription. Game-changing services. I'll show you how to get those at the end of the video. And then the other thing to remember, guys, is I'm predicting the day-by-day chart behavior for the month of February, but it's the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction that you want to pay closest attention to. There may be cases where the timing is off a day or two, so you may need to give it wiggle room. The sequence of chart events will remain accurate nonetheless, so keep that in mind. Anything that I talk about, support, resistance, big moves, that's all on the scale of a multi-day chart, usually like 1 month's worth of it. All right, so let's get into it. So the science card indicates an important technical price level on a 1-year chart scale highlighted as the theme for February. It looks like we probably hit that resistance, and it marks a significant trade opportunity before a sharp decline. Behavior around the highest high. We have a decline off of the high through multiple support levels. Behavior around the lowest low. We have a rally along a diagonal trend line ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Interesting. And I say that's interesting because the January reading, or when you look at the 1 month, I mean the 1 year, the late January card is the late January card is the Knight of Wands. So interesting. Yeah, okay, well, we're going to get into it here with the day-by-day chart behavior. It looks like we probably got lows at the beginning and that towards the end with a high in between. But here on the first, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance. This will be resistance that's important on a multi-day scale. And what's interesting is that we'll expect to break through it. Instead, it'll be disappointing. We'll turn around, we'll decline through key support. Out of that, though, we rally into the second and then that rally is halted by a decline through a key support level. Again, a big move to the upside on the 13th, like a breakout, possibly doesn't hold because we established that important resistance there on the 4th. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. We'll probably see that resistance more highlighted more than once, but we've got important resistance highlighted there. Probably a lot of price change on the 4th, and at that resistance we decline from it and then return to it at least once in not too distant future. But the peaks there on the 4th, 5th, and a trade opportunity I might talk about at the end of this video. We haven't decided which one just yet, but from that peak at the beginning of the day on the 5th, a decline through multiple supports, followed by into an important trough on a 1 month scale, and then a big move out of that trough to another peak on the 6th, followed by a full retracement, or almost. On the 7th, we've got a crest that will sell off from down 2 and through support. We'll do a U-shaped reversal below that support, come back and reuse it as support. On the 9th, another peak, near overbought peak that will sell off from through multiple support levels. Excuse me, that's the 8th, near overbought crest that will sell off from through multiple support levels. On the 9th, we have a resistance level highlighted that we failed to break through many times before, or we will fail to break through many times in the future. Sometimes it's that as well. But usually there's a decline from it. It looks like that's the case into the end of the day on the 9th. The 9th, 10th is a significant trough on a 1 month scale. And then we should have a rally out of that trough into a peak on the 11th. Probably after some side, like 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, somewhere around the 10th, 11th. And that third cross would be to the upside, confirming a bullish trend, taking us into a peak on the 11th. An unexpected move higher on the 12th. So we likely decline from the 11th into early morning on the 12th. And then there's an unexpected move higher. So it looks like that resistance, that science car resistance, is probably highlighted around the 11th, 12th again. Rally around the 13th that turns over, and a trough midday. On the 14th, we have mixed chart behavior in a channel. It's like a sideways S formation. You decline from resistance, hit support, reverse, go all the way back to the resistance, reverse, go all the way back to that support within a channel. And then we've got a lot of price change on the 15th, and an important support level highlighted there. There's a peak midday, an important peak on a multi-day scale, and then a lot of price change to the downside, a decline through multiple supports into a trough at the end of the day on the 16th. A peak on the cusp of the 17th, 18th. And then on the 18th, another prominent trough. And out of that trough, which this trough will form after we decline through support, meet another support, rotate sideways, and then break down through more supports. But out of that trough, there should be a rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meet another resistance somewhere there around the 19th, taking us to another peak. What might even be, it's possible it's another significant peak there. But then we've got a lot of cross-reading congruencies and conflicting energies going on here. So hard to say, but there's an important trough and an important peak here around the cusp of the 19th, 20th. So probably a lot of price change covered. And a fast sudden move higher out of the trough on the 20th turns into a decline that takes us through an important technical price level on the 21st into a trough at the end of the day on the 21st. And then sideways rotation and possibly more decline, but sideways rotation with an important trough here on the 22nd. And then we got bullish behavior. We may even be, before we get into the bullish behavior, at the end of the day on the 22nd, you might be tempted to chase that decline. Don't do that. Just be patient. On the 23rd, we should have bullish behavior, bumping along resistance, breaking through resistance, bumping along resistance, taking us to a brief peak that's easily missed and a decline through multiple support levels into another trough there on the 24th. We have flat behavior on the 25th, a rally that turns over on the 26th, a huge move in the last 2 days, starting out of possibly oversold territory, or it's like some sort of gap up here on the 27th, and then into the 28th. Reaching for a distant resistance. And the sneak preview for March looks like we've got sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. All right, now I'm going to give you one of the best trades that I see for the month of February, but before I do that, let's take a look at January, see how we did. I think this was probably a really, really solid reading, guys. The January reading, if you're wondering, the shuffle file was created. Oh, I had to make a new shuffle file. But the image that we use was created December 13th, 2025. I had to get the shuffle. I had to pull this shuffle file from my iCloud, which is why it's a later date, FYI. All right, so we had a lowest low thus far on the first. We got a lowest low thus far on the first. A prominent peak on the third. Prominent peak on the third. Possible highest high on the sixth. It ended up being a very significant high, so we nailed that. And then we have a lowest low for the month. Well, lowest low thus far on the 9th, 10th. Nailed that. A lowest low for the month here on the 12th. It looks like it ended up being on the 13th, so we were off a day there. But out of that low, what did we say? There would be a huge move to the upside, and you can see that Lust card thing with a breakout, right, taking us to another peak and a high side thus far there on the 14th. Continues. We have a highest high on the 22nd. Highest high on the 22nd. Intraday high on the 20th. And you can see there was a cross-reading congruency there. So we had an intraday high. Interesting. But the highest high we had, nailed it. And these are examples of the ellipses and chart drawings that we put on these live updated TradingView charts, guys. We're not always right, but we're often right. And you can see this was put here back in December, and we kind of poked into it 3 times. You know, like, look at all these down here. This was a phenomenal month. A phenomenal month here. That's a good example. Good example. All right, so with that said, highs and lows were all pretty solid. I'm sure the trades were pretty solid as a result. So let's give you one of the best trades, and then after that, if you're interested in those of you that are interested in the monthly access subscription, those of you serious about trading, SOM analysis, I'll show you guys how to get that subscription and everything that it includes right after this trade. So I think the best trade, guys, and really this is just an expectation. You really should follow along on our Discord and our live streams as far as what to do in real time, because sometimes we're off and we can see in real time where we went wrong and change our expectations accordingly. You know, it's very, very important stuff. But my sense is that the peak on... All right, so there's a rally on the 19th through a diagonal trend line, or along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meaning another resistance, then pulling back to somewhere between those two. Likely a highest high there. Probably the same high as what we saw on the 15th. But if we have a highest high there, or the same high as the 15th, then I would say open up a short. Could close that short at the end of the day on the 21st. After a trough with a fast send move higher out of that trough, and then a decline on the 21st through key technical price level, continuing lower into a lowest low for the month on the 21st, 22nd. Probably exit out there at the end of the day on the 21st. And there's a few other pretty solid trades there, guys. Why didn't I go for the high to the low? Guys, trading is not always that obvious. There could be all sorts of things that happen between the highest high and the lowest low that would have made it a bad trade or scared you out or confused you. So it's always best to go with the cleanest trades. That's why sometimes they don't line up with the highest high and lowest low, because it's just a safer way to go. All right, guys. So those of you that are interested, the way that you get the monthly access subscription... Sorry, guys. It was supposed to be up already. All right, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders. Hover over Order Now. Click on Subscriptions. Monthly access subscription gets you early access to public readings, just like early access does. It gets you everything early access does. Early access to S&P 500 readings, S&P 500 Discord trade alerts, all paid monthly readings, all stock and crypto Discord trade alerts. for the following tickers: Apple, Amazon, Bitcoin, Gold, Google, Meta, Nvidia, USO, Shibcoin, Solana, Theta, Tesla, VIX, XRP. We cover those all day by day on a monthly basis, predicting the highs and the lowest lows in all the trades, and cover them on Discord. That's $300 a month. Hugely undervalued, my friends. You make that in one trade. Easily. So much love and appreciation to everybody who goes out and supports the channel, allowing us to get the much needed video editor on board, and allowing us to grow and cover more tickers. Blessings to all my angel investors. You know where to go. You know what to do. Follow that rule of karma. I'll see you guys on the next one.